Welcome back, folks. We are continuing our coverage in the Judge Jumper attempted murder trial in Nevada. Judge Mary Kay Holthus is still on the stand. She's now wrapping up her testimony. She is on cross-examination. So let's head back into court.
Okay. I'm going to approach Ms. Pierce. May I approach to refresh your recollection?
Sure. Oh, I did it again. I'm so sorry. That's okay.
Just where I have it highlighted.
Wait, have it started me?
Yeah. Just read in between that.
You want me to read it to you?
No. Just read it and refresh your recollection. You know the drill. Then I'll ask questions.
Can I keep that?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
And so, based upon your review of the voluntary statement, do you recall how you were hit?
Same thing. I don't know if it was head or elbow, head, hand. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
And you don't know?
I was hit, but I don't know with what.
Right. And you don't know how many times you were hit?
I don't.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Redirect.
I'll be brief, Judge. You gave a voluntary statement to police that was recorded, right?
Yes.
Subsequent to that, you testified at a prior court proceeding.
Yes.
And throughout that, you've been consistent that you don't remember how many times you were hit.
Yes.
In fact, as you sit here today, you can't tell the jury if you were knocked out or not.
No.
Mr. Arnold?
I think you might have a double negative as well. Could you re-ask that question?
Do you know if you were knocked out?
No. I mean, no.
May I approach?
Yes.
There was a question or a line of questioning about whether you sustained bruising. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
Showing you now 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. Are those documentation of your bruising?
Yes.
After the incident? And these will be available to the jury. These are already admitted, Judge, so these will be available to the jury. I'm not going to put them up on the order. When you described this attack initially, I asked you about the level of force that was used. And I want you to do your best to describe the level of force used and why it is you don't remember how many times you were hit.
I was hit so hard between the defendant's body and behind my bench. It's a marble wall, and so, like I said, I was hit so hard that I literally smashed into it, and then I was at best dazed. And I was pulled down behind me, and he continued going after me so forcefully and so violently that literally 3 or 4 healthy, strong young men couldn't get him off of me. It was so strong. They saved my life. I tell them that all the time. You guys saved my life.
As that was happening, do you recall a hand on your neck?
I remember being held. No, not clearly, no.
Fair enough. You're doing your best to recall the events as you remember. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do know I lost hair, a lot of hair from that side.
Thank you.
Any recalls?
Yes, just real quick. And, Your Honor, in regards to the bruising, the pictures that you were just shown, those were pictures in regards to bruising on your shoulder, your arms, and your legs and tailbone. Is that correct?
Well, you don't have a picture of my tailbone, but
your back area.
My lower half, my
Right.
shoulder, and my upper arm. Yeah.
Okay, and there was no bruising to the face, and there was no bruising to your neck? You have to
You
say,
asked, there was no bruising, and she's saying no.
but we have to get it verbally, and
Right.
I'll start it over again.
There was no bruising to my neck
There was no bruising
that I'm aware of, yeah.
to your neck, and there was no bruising to your face.
No,
That's correct?
that's correct. Sorry.
Okay,
That's all right.
all
I
right,
just want to make sure the transcript reads
Reads.
the way that you guys want it to read, that's all.
right. All right, no further questions. Thank you.
Okay, you may step down.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's it for Judge Mary Kay Holthus, a wonderful witness as far as I'm concerned. The defense doing their best to minimize the violence of this attack. Let's bring in our guest. Joining us this hour, federal trial attorney Alexis Rosenberg is here. Alexis, as I said, I thought she was a fantastic witness, really bringing to life what she felt at that time, very important to the state's case. I thought the defense was trying to minimize the violence of the attack. Most importantly, this idea that there were no bruises to her neck. Of course, the idea being that he never actually went for her neck as if he was trying to kill her.
Definitely, Michael. I agree with you. I think the defense is doing also a good job of showing that she's not sure if these injuries sustained were actually by him or maybe inadvertently by somebody that was trying to, remove him from her. And I think that is important as well, because that would go to the fact that he wasn't trying, as you said, to actually kill her.
You know, Alexis, a couple of times during her testimony, she said it once on redirect and then once on cross. She said, I told my staff, my folks, you saved my life. I might have, as a defense attorney, objected to that. I don't know if it would have gone. I mean, you have to get a feel for the courtroom, right? You don't want to go too hard on the judge. But I thought it was, a conclusion being made by her that was very hurtful to my position as a defense attorney, and not sure she was warranted to make that conclusion. What do you make of that?
I agree with you. I think defense should have objected to that, as well as if you even looked at the defendant's reaction, it was almost like he was expecting an objection because he does have that long rap sheet. So I guess this isn't his first time at the rodeo. I don't think we needed that. I do think it was very damaging because she did get very emotional at that point, as well as she made the statement also about, she's thanking her staff every day for saving her life.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that was objectionable as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me incredibly prejudicial. All right, stand by, Alexis. I want to take folks back into court. On the stand now is Michael Lasso. He is Judge Holthus's law clerk. So let's go back into court now. He's been called by the state. This is his direct examination.
Now, to go to January 3rd of 2024. On that date, you were not originally supposed to be working, correct?
Correct.
Were you supposed to have the day off?
I mean, I don't know if I was supposed to have the day off, but that morning I woke up and I was actually studying for the bar at that time. The bar was taking place in February, so this was January 3rd. It was kind of our first. It was right after New Year's, so it was our first criminal calendar of the year, and actually our only criminal calendar that week. So, and it was on a Wednesday, so my boss had texted me, one of the core staffs, and said, hey, why don't you take the day off? It's not that long of a calendar. Why don't you study? It's coming up here pretty soon. It's a pretty stressful exam, so, you can go ahead and just take the day to study. And for whatever reason, I just really wanted to be there. I wanted to, it was our only criminal calendar that week, and it was just something that, I don't know, I felt like I just should be at. So I told her thank you, but instead I decided to go and to work that day.
And on that date, did you sit next to the judge like you would during any other calendar?
Absolutely.
Were you multitasking like you indicated you typically do?
Yeah. I prepped the files that day, kind of started off as any other, and during calendar, I remember just going through emails, check in to see if there's any updates. Sometimes attorneys will email you right during calendar, so just kind of checking and making sure everything was running smoothly.
During a typical criminal calendar, I know you indicated that there was at least one correctional officer seated in the witness stand in the courtroom.
Yes.
Are there typically more than one correctional officer?
There usually is. Sometimes there's only one. We always have our marshal there as well. But especially if it's like a lot of defendants that are in custody coming in, there will be maybe 2 correctional officers, occasionally 3, but usually, like I said, you'll have the one. You'll always have the marshal there as well.
Are there times when the correctional officers who are present in the courtroom might remove some of the in-custody defendants and take them back to the Clark County Detention Center?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if there's a lot of defendants in a particular day, or maybe if there's like some sort of intermission or break, whatever ones that we've kind of gotten through the in custodies, they'll go ahead and kind of uncuff whoever's together or whoever hasn't gone, and then they'll go and walk those individuals through that door that we were talking about, and then on to CCDC.
But there will always be at least one correctional officer in the courtroom if there are in custody defendants,
Yes.
correct?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you indicated that there's also a court marshal that's in the courtroom during criminal calendars?
Always, yeah.
And is that Marshal Shane Brandon in your courtroom?
Yes, it is.
And typically, how is he dressed?
In full uniform. He's got, a vest on, and he looks almost like a police officer. It's like a brown tan shirt that he has, and they said a vest. He's got a full belt. He's got a gun on him. He's got a badge, everything like that.
With regards to the correctional officers that are in the courtroom, are they typically dressed in uniform?
Oh, yes. Yeah, almost identical to the marshal.
And readily identifiable as law enforcement officers?
Yes, absolutely.
Are they typically armed
Yes.
with a firearm?
Yes.
On January 3rd of 2024, do you recall a defendant being on your calendar that day by the name of Diober Redden?
Yes, I do.
Do you see that individual in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Could you please point to him and identify an article of clothing that he's wearing today?
Sure. That's him right there, wearing, looks like, I can't really see the color of the tie, almost like a purple tie, blue shirt, standing up right there.
May the record reflect that he's identified the defendant, Your Honor.
Let the record so reflect.
Now,
All right, we're going to pause testimony here, folks, to bring you this quick programming note. Ali Abulaban is being sentenced tomorrow. Now, he's the former social media star who was convicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of his wife, Anna, and her friend, Rayburn Barron. Abulaban faces life in prison without the possibility of parole for that double murder. His sentencing begins tomorrow at noon Eastern right here on Court TV Live. You do not want to miss that. All right, let's take that break now. When we return, the law clerk testifies about what he heard and saw during the attack. So keep it here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.